stars. I'ma slam on these ghosts like a respect the Bulls in 98, but I'm a Knick straight out the gate. I boogie down up in the great state like Biggie Smalls. I hold weight. Give me my cake and your plate, cause I'ma eat it too. Learn from the greats, so tell me what can I receive from you? Time to check my pride, don't wanna force it. Of imposters, tell me this, what happened to me?
Good morning, KOD Nation, Knicks Universe, stand up, and all you degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Friday, February 17th edition of the Knicks Morning Brew. I'm your guy, Hector, and I'm chilling with the one and only, my man, Fabulous Phil. As you see the name right there, the Hartenstein Fan Club President. Philip, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, that is my new title. You know, I went from having a career change. I was his Uber driver. I was his Uber driver to the airport to get him out of New York City. And then I transferred to a new company that allows me to be the Hartenstein Fan Club President. So that's what adulting as a fan looks like, and being able to change your takes when things change throughout the season. So hats off to Hartenstein, however you want to say it, off the bat for our show. You have been doing great. I appreciate you. I'm a fan.
Yes. Shout out to iHeart, because like we talked about a few episodes ago, I brought up the fact that regardless of how Knick fans you feel towards Isaiah Hartenstein, regardless if Josh Hart was the only move that the Knicks made at the trade deadline, when it comes to this offseason, Isaiah Hartenstein, he's adding value to himself. Right. So even if the Knicks want to bring him back or use him in a trade, he's building value that other organizations are opening their eyes to. On top of it, this offseason, that Evan Fournier contract is going to be very valuable when it comes to trades. Right. He has 2 years left on his deal after this season. The last deal is a team option. So essentially, he only has 1 year left. So you could use him in a trade this offseason to unload a contract or two, right? Knowing that Evan Fournier only have one season left, a lot of teams value expiring deals. And Fournier is one of those deals. Same thing like Hartenstein, who could build up his value and get shipped off to someplace else. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, when it comes to Hartenstein, my favorite thing is that we have to come to the realization that as much as we love Big Money Mitch, there has not been one season that he's been part of our team that he has not been injured for a decent part of the season. You know, so moving forward, you have to have someone that can step in. And I'm a Sims fan, but we have seen that Sims cannot defend the way that Hartenstein has been able to defend these last few games, and he can't grab the rebound the same way. He's got athleticism, he's a better scorer, but when it comes to what we need someone that can grab boards, someone that can clog up the paint, and that is something that he does. So I think he's actually gained a lot of value for us as well over these last few days. Like, he put his money where his mouth is. He said, I've been playing like trash, it's going to be different. And he actually showed that. A lot of people say that, but nothing comes from it. When it comes to the Fournier deal, the thing about the Fournier deal is a lot of people don't want to buy into something like Fournier because he can be a little bit streaky. And to have that big of a contract for that many years, that's what deters people. But when they can say, oh, I can get this guy for 1 year and then I don't have to keep him around if it's a bust, that's appealing to have a shooter like Fournier come off the bench. But when you have to lock in for 2 years, not knowing if he will bring any productivity to you, then the interest is obviously going to go down. So teams will take a bigger chance on Fournier in the offseason than they would have in the trade deadline. So I think that's huge. Like they don't have a ton to lose in a trade like that.
Yeah, 100%. Before we continue, let's just do the roll call real quick. My man Sunil is in the building. Sunil says, as you enter, please hit the like button for our Morning Brew sports crew, the one and only Hector and his boys Jiggaman, Porto, and you forgot to add Phil Porto in there, but I'll throw it in there for you. My man, that's Sunil. That's Sunil. Be nice, yes, that's my guy Sunil. Shout out to my man Trippy in the VSN basketball station. Trippy, what it do? And also, guys, if you aren't tuned in, please subscribe to the new channel, The Morning Brew Sports. If you are on that channel in the chat right now, I'm able to make you a moderator. So please go into the Morning Brew Sports channel, go to the live, comment in the comment section so I can add you as a moderator. On top of that, my man Blood of the Panthers in the building. Blood of the Panther, what it do? Salute. Good morning. Of course, Jiggaman, Porto, Pots and Pans, good morning. Who else we got in the building? My man Todd, TC Stills. TC Stills is in the building. TC, what it do? Angel Barrios, we already know him. One half of Smooth. What it do? Smooth, my guy. Pastor Claudio. Obi Hive is in the building. Pastor Claudio, what it do? Good morning, my guy. Mr. Pastor Claudio, if you aren't sub to the new channel right now, The Morning Brew Sports. Who else we got in the building? We had a bunch of people this morning. A bunch, but we're going to get into the conversation. We got the All-Star weekend coming up, right?
Yep.
The All-Star weekend. We got the 3-point contest. We got Jericho Sims in the slam dunk contest. Which one of those are you more excited for? Which one are you keeping your eye on?
Honestly, I'm excited for the slam dunk competition for two reasons. Jericho Sims, the vert that you see him get in practice, like you see the videos of like his head pretty much touching the backboard. The amount of things that you could do in the time that you're up there to when you come back down to the basket is insane. Like anything he does with that kind of vert is going to look better than anyone else doing it. You do a windmill dunk, and the fact that you windmill and you still have time to like get back down before it actually hits the basket is going to look so much cooler than someone else. Him doing an Aaron Gordon dunk underneath the legs, but the fact that he could probably do it 3 times with his vert, that's going to be ridiculous. So I'm hoping to see something good. The thing about the 3-point contest is I'm happy for Randall that he got in there, but I just don't know. Like, this can either be really, really good and Randall like show out, or he could have one of those 3-point days where like nothing falls and like it just looks bad, and that's not what I want for Randall. He's got an MVP year. He's feeling good. I don't want to see him like walk away feeling kind of embarrassed that like 1 out of 30 something, 3-pointers went in. But either way, salute to him for getting in. Like there's some players that I thought would make it before he did as a substitution, but he got there. So we'll enjoy it,
Yeah, 100%. And my man Blood of the Panthers in the building. Blood of the Panther, just so you know, I switched your moderating status. Instead of a regular moderator, I made you a managing moderator for the channel. So for this channel, we have 2 managing moderators. We have Blood of the Panther as one, and then we got our guy Delano Still Jr. Because when it comes to Delano Still Jr., we know him as the most lovable troll in the entire Knicks fandom. But on top of it, him and Blood of the Panther, they be in there watching people, making sure people's takes is on point. So shout out to Blood of the Panther and DSJ for being the managing moderators for the channel. But yeah, bro, we got a lot of things to jump into, right? But let's jump into the first one, right? Let's jump into the first one, because the Knicks, when it came to that game against the Atlanta Hawks, when it came to Trae Young, we put the spanking on them. Right,
bro.
Literally,
insane.
We put they had the white flag in the 4th quarter. We put the spanking on them from the 1st quarter, and we didn't take the gas off. This is another win for the Knicks. When it comes to the Knicks, when their opponent scores 110 points or less, the New York Knicks are 24-1 on the season. I'm gonna say that again. When the New York Knicks are able to keep their opponents to scoring under 110 points per game, the New York Knicks are 24-1. When it comes to the first quarter, Julius Randle is leading the entire NBA when it comes to 3-point attempts, 3-point made, and he's top 3 in scoring in the first quarter. Right. So we have to be able to attack from the beginning of the game, set that tone early, and put the pressure on the team that's trying to chase us for 4 quarters.
Yeah. You know, what's crazy about that is when I always say you learn a lot from a post-game interview, right? And so a lot of teams, you could tell that they don't want to give credit to where it's due. And in the beginning half of the season, anytime the Knicks won, it was always, because we did not do this. Now teams are not able to use that excuse. Like, you are hearing them say, their coaches, yeah, they played a hell of defense. They got a ton of rebounds. They did this. So to see Trae Young, who was trying to be the new Reggie Miller, like of Madison, like, where he was able to, in the post-game interview, say, yeah, they just played really, really well. I got to give them credit. Like, the fact that Trae Young went from shh to, all right, now I need to shh because I got spanked. That's huge for someone to be able to, like, make that, whole thing of like, oh, I'm going to belittle you to, all right, I got to acknowledge the fact that you guys have a squad. And so that was cool to see in the post-game interview, and just seeing, the team play well as a unit was huge. Like that's the big thing about that game was Hartenstein played spectacular. Like, he was my good in my good, the bad, and the ugly after being my bad and ugly for so many episodes in the beginning of the season. Like, that straight up stole the good, and he just played really, really well. Hearts continue to play well for us. The only thing that I really saw that disappointed me about that game was Grimes needs to get out of this slump quick, and we need to free Obi Toppin. Like, Obi Toppin did great in his 13 minutes, and that's all he saw. So that's what I saw from the game. What stood out for you in that game?
Well, when it comes to Obi Toppin, credit to Obi Toppin, because this is the type of game that he needed to have. Because one of my criticisms of Obi Toppin, and you saw it last time we had the conversation. I don't know where Phil went right now. I'm not sure if Phil disappeared. Here he is. Here he is. But the last time we was having a conversation about Obi Toppin, and the one thing that I said is that as much as I want to see Obi Toppin get more minutes, as much as I want to see Obi Toppin score, I want him to go out there and also do the little things when it comes to boxing people out, when it comes to hustling. And we saw some of that. We say he was a lot better when it came to boxing out his defender to help out Isaiah Hartenstein get those rebounds, right? With the bench unit. So he was a lot better from that aspect. And you saw it leak over to the offensive side of things because he was able to get his shot. He was able to flow into the offense. So when you're able to be successful from both sides of the ball, offense and defensively, knowing in the back of your head, all right, cool, I'm able to help out Isaiah Hartenstein when it comes to rebounding. I do not have to worry about Tom Thibodeau taking me out of the game because I miss an assignment, right? So from that point of view, Obi Toppin did tremendous. Like you said, the 13 minutes that he played, crazy. This is what you want from Obi Toppin coming off of the bench. I'm going to keep saying what I've been saying. Instead of Julius Randle playing 46, 44, 42, or 40 minutes a game, you could play Julius Randle 36 minutes or 35 minutes and get those extra minutes of Obi Toppin. Yeah, it's not going to hurt you, especially if Obi Toppin is performing like this off of the bench. Because what we say about Julius Randle, he's amazing when it comes to the first quarter. He tires out as the game goes on. Now, just imagine if he didn't have to worry about playing 40 minutes a game and he could just play 35 minutes a game. How much fresher would he be, not only for the now, but for the long run when we get into the playoffs, bro? And that's all I want Tom Thibodeau to recognize.
Yeah, and that's my huge thing is like with Randall Hive, wanting Obi to have more minutes does not mean we want Julius Randle to be less important. Like that's not what we're saying. We want Julius Randle to be just as important, but more effective because he's not fighting to have the energy to make it through all 4 quarters of basketball. Like he's still going to be the centerpiece. If we are a team, we want each player to thrive, And so the thing about fandom is we want to point out that Obi Toppin's defense has not been great. Well, you look like we are not a great defensive team. Like when it comes to Julius Randle, when it comes to RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes has been struggling, on the defensive end. Like we've been struggling with defense. What we've always said is show the effort. Obi Toppin showed last night or the other night against the Hawks effort on defense. Like he was actually locking players down. And so we can't use Obi doesn't deserve minutes because he doesn't play defense anymore, because Obi's trying to eliminate that excuse, So hats off to Obi Toppin for that. Wanting Obi to succeed does not mean we do not want Randle to succeed. Randle has that spot. He is our starting power forward. He is our all-star. We understand that. One does not negate the other. So let's chat about real quick.
Go ahead. Bring talking about the question that
Smooth had. So which star, Hector, in the offseason do you want out that would be in this offseason will want out that would be the missing piece
I see what
for this team to be a championship contender? Okay, so someone else. Okay.
I know people may hate this. I know people may say this is Tom Thibodeau doing the same thing over and over and over again in the front office, enabling Tom Thibodeau. But I would not be mad if this front office, this offseason, called up the Miami Heat and asked about Jimmy Butler. I would not be mad. I would not hate. I would actually want to see a reunion of Tom Thibodeau and Jimmy Butler and see if it could work out in New York. I know a lot of people said, "Oh, well, how it ended in Minnesota wasn't the best thing in the world," which is true. It was drama how it ended in Minnesota, but the drama was how Tom Thibodeau is not keeping accountability for certain players. Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins. You come here to the Knicks, you don't got to worry about that. We don't got an Andrew Wiggins starting. We don't got a Karl Anthony Towns starting. We got a Julius Randle and a Jalen Brunson, both who are vets and both who are players that had to fight for their contracts that they have right now. So you don't have to worry about people not having the heart or the effort, right? So I would definitely look at a possibility of reuniting Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau. Now, if that scenario may be too toxic, for some Knicks fans, I do understand it. I do respect it. Even if you think that may be a little bit too toxic, Phil, I understand and respect it. My second option would be SGA with the OKC Thunder. I understand it may take a boatload to get Shea, but hey, just call it up and see what we could get. What about you?
Yeah, the Shea one is a easy one. Like if Shea was ever available to come to the Knicks, sign me up. I personally don't see OKC moving him. Like he is still a young player. They still have such potential. And
Kenny Payne, don't hate me, Kenny Payne.
if he continues to play like he does, even if he's not their centerpiece moving forward, I see them holding on to him, until they're 100% sure that they could be just as good without him as they develop their young core. So I don't see them moving him at all, as much as I would love it. Me personally, it's funny that you talk about the whole Jimmy Butler thing, because I like Jimmy Butler, but me personally, watching him the other day when we played against them when we played against Miami, he's starting to not look like the Jimmy Butler that I loved when he first got to Miami. He's looking a little bit out of his element, doesn't seem as, strong in the paint, doesn't seem as successful on offense. So me personally, you say Karl Anthony Towns, and I go, I would do it. I know some people wouldn't, and that's completely fine, but I would do Karl Anthony Towns, because as much as I like Big Money Mitch, he's just not reliable. He's not reliable to stay fully healthy. And when I look at Karl Anthony Towns' stats, that dude has always averaged 23 points per game as a big man, and it's not that in lieu of that, he's not getting rebounds and stuff like that. He's still getting I think 8 to 10 rebounds, per season. And so I could see someone like Karl Anthony Towns coming in and actually being a big man that can defend a little bit, also space the floor a little bit, So I would be fine with a Karl Anthony Towns trade, even though I don't think that'll happen. And here's the thing: is I'm not saying things that aren't even possible. I don't ever see New Orleans giving us Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
That would throw most things out of
Especially,
the water.
especially with that recent Zion Williamson injury, it seems like Zion, the injury bug, is going to be something that follows him throughout his career. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Karl Anthony Towns. I think he is a phenomenal player. The same way how you pointed out his health is the same way I think about Karl Anthony Towns. You pointed out Mitchell Robinson health. I think Karl Anthony Towns later on is going to have some health complications with his career. I'm not trying to wish anything bad on Karl Anthony Towns. Knock on wood. I wish him a healthy career. But as a Knicks fan, I want the Knicks to stay far away from Karl Anthony Towns, right? I look back at the pandemic seasons. I look back at the COVID season. COVID is still around. Karl Anthony Towns, he had so many family members that passed away from COVID, right? Because of the complications, right? Yeah, himself, he caught COVID about 5-6 times. Several different times he caught COVID. I just want to avoid a scenario that we trade for Karl Anthony Towns, right? We give up all this draft capital. We give up all these young players for Karl Anthony Towns. And 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, he has to retire for some cardiac illness that develops because of it, right? So I just want the Knicks to avoid that situation. Look what happened with Eddie Curry, right? Nobody saw that coming from Eddie Curry. Nobody knew that he had an irregular heart rhythm and he had a small casing of his heart. So nobody saw that with Eddie Curry. I'm not saying Karl Anthony Towns, this will happen, but I just wanted for us to avoid it so it doesn't happen. Now, if Knicks fans want to trade for Karl Anthony Towns, cool. Let's trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Let's get the deal done. I'm just giving you my worries about Karl Anthony Towns, right? Yeah. So many deaths in the family. That goes back to his genetics. He caught us a bunch of times. I just want to avoid that situation. Listen, I wish him the best health in the world. I just want to avoid a situation where that happens, if you understand what I'm saying, Phil.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Before we continue, I'm my fault. Before we continue, I just want to shout out a few people in the chat. I see my man Nice Delo Mio just pulled up into the building. Nice, what a good salute. Listen, Nice, if you aren't following the new channel, please subscribe to the new channel, the Morning Brew Sports. We'll be moving all content from the Knicks Morning Brew, the Yankees Morning Brew. We got the Eddie and Smitty show, which will be covering the entirety of the NBA, coming to you soon. All of that will be found on the Morning Brew Sports. Please subscribe to the new channel. Hit the like button as you come in right now. If you go to the Morning Brew Sports channel live right now, where we are at right now, comment in the chat section. We can make you a moderator on top of it. Hit the like button for the boys as you come in also. Go ahead, Phil. My apologies, Brody.
Yeah. And to the chat, I want to say I see some really great names in there. But the question was stars that kind of want out. There's stars that I would love to have come to New York, but from what they've said or what their team has said, they don't want out, so like the Kuzmas and stuff like that. And I saw Smooth say Wiggins. I would love Wiggins. Like I would love a great player.
What 2022, 2022, 2023 Wiggins? I'll take that. I don't want Wiggins from 2017 when he was with Tom Thibodeau before. I want what Wiggins is right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that we don't have those players showing interest in wanting an exit. Otherwise, my answers would change if it was like NBA 2K where I could just recruit whoever the heck I wanted. My list would be very, very different. So,
I see 100%. But let's get into a few of these other slides that we have right now. We got one here, and this is what I want to see. Julius Randle, 2-time All-Star. 3-point contest participant. The last time the Knicks had someone in the 3-point contest, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Steve Novak. He didn't win that season. I'm pretty sure he didn't win that 3-point contest. But that was the last time we had a Knick in a 3-point contest. Let's see what Julius Randle does. Last year was the year of the big man with Karl Anthony Towns. Let's see if Julius Randle can continue that trend going while being in the 3-point contest this year. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, I'm happy for Randle. I think
blood of the Panther just to come in last.
I love what Julius Randle is doing game wise. He is playing really, really well. I feel like he definitely earned that All-Star status. My hope for him is the last time he was in the All-Star game, I was cracking up because he didn't get the ball once. Like, no one gave him the ball. So I'm hoping that that's not the case this time, that he actually gets, some good play, some good minutes. I am a little bit confused, if I'm honest, about his entry into the three-point competition, because there are a lot of people in the NBA whose three-point, shooting seems to be a little more elite than his. So I thought he was a little bit random of a choice. But I just hope he does good. At the end of the day, I don't see him winning the 3-point competition, but I want to see him do well. I want him to walk away feeling like he's on cloud 9 and ready to
I want him to win just so you have to apologize.
Hey, look, bro, I am on the Hartenstein president for his fan club. I don't mind apologizing. I am not that guy.
Well, I'm that guy. I wouldn't apologize about you just saying that. But no, I'm excited because Julius Randle, I've said it time and time over again, during the show that we have, you, myself, and your brother Jiggaman. He has rewritten his story. His storybook with the Knicks as a Knick. He has rewritten that, and it's good to see. Two-time All-Star. Yes, Jalen Brunson should be there with him. He's playing as one of the best guards that are in the league right now, Jalen Brunson. But this weekend is about Julius Randle and sending him to the All-Star game, right? So I'm super excited about Julius Randle getting to the All-Star game. Hopefully this does something for his confidence down the stretch. Shout out my man Ron and John from Still Knick Fans. What it do? Salute, salute, salute in the building. But like I said, this weekend we celebrating Julius Randle. And Julius Randle, my man, hats off to you. You deserved it. I know a lot of Knick fans, myself included, I'm going to throw myself into that, was calling for you to be traded after last season. You came into this season 100 times motivated. It was a struggle at the beginning of the season, but you turned it around, and you and Jalen Brunson have turned into a dynamic duo in Gotham City. Batman and Robin is definitely back in Gotham City when it comes to the Knicks, and it's good to see in Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, Phil.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, you were talking about his journey with
my
us,
man, nice spitting.
What up, nice? You talk about his journey with us, and in any kind of journey, there's U-turns, there's detours, there's going the right or wrong direction, And so what I always want to say is, like, Randle got criticism not because people were haters, but because there were certain things that he did to welcome that criticism. If people are still criticizing Julius Randle now, that's where an issue is, because Julius Randle has changed everything that we had an issue with, from his lack of willingness to show effort in 4 quarters of basketball. When was the last time we had to address that? His body language. When was the last time we had to address that? And for people that were like, oh, you're just picking things apart. Like, no, his conversation with Johnny Bryant in, like, Denver or wherever in you was it? Where was it? Whatever. His conversation with Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant pointed out his body language, and he admitted it. But we haven't had to say anything about that. We haven't had to say anything about the way that he responds to his coaches or his teams. We haven't seen any iPad slaps or anything like that out of a coach's hand. We haven't seen any, like, him pushing people away on the team when they try to hold him accountable. Matter of fact, he's now holding other people accountable and going up to them and encouraging them. So we've seen a huge change, and that's what people need to realize. It wasn't hate before, but if you're still doing it, it's definitely hate for no reason, because Julius Randle has earned, like, us to be able to say that he deserves the respect that he's getting.
He definitely does. Julius Randle definitely does, and like you said, he hasn't knocked the iPad away from an assistant coach. He's not being mean to Evan Fournier on the sideline when Evan Fournier is trying to dap him up and he's just pushing him away. Ain't none of that happening this season. It's a breath of fresh air. But let's continue the conversation, because we're sending another Knick. Another Knick is going over to Utah for the slam dunk contest, and that's Jericho Sims. Mr. Jericho Sims will be at the slam dunk contest. Super excited about Jericho Sims. Hopefully we'll get a smile on his face. Over and under, how many smiles do you think we're getting out of Jericho Sims this weekend?
Oh, we getting a ton, bro. We are getting a ton. Like, I am pumped for this. Like, This dude has a 44 and a half vertical jump. Like, that is mind boggling. Like, that dude can leap over 3 Aaron Gordons. Like, that dude is like,
My man
it's
Nice said,
insane.
only one smile.
Only one smile. Like, it's crazy. Like, you talk about how people say that our team is like where we suffer is in height. Okay, I think Jericho Sims in the slam dunk contest jumps over a Grimes who's got Hart on his shoulders, who has Brunson on his shoulders. That's what I want to see. I want to see our whole team get involved in that.
Listen, when it comes to the entirety of the slam dunk contest, Jericho Sims is the one that I'm gonna have my eye on. Obviously, every other contender is every other contender in the contest, but I'm keeping my eye on Jericho Sims. And it goes back to when he was in high school. His high school coach said Jericho Sims is a kid that has no social media, is to himself. He just plays video games. He doesn't bother anybody, doesn't talk to people that much. And even from a young age, he's been like that. So Jericho Sims, he's a unique breed, especially in 2023. And like Nice said, hopefully we'll get more than one smile. But I'm excited to see what Jericho Sims has in his bag. We all know he can dunk. We all know he can jump. We all know what his vertical is. I want to see what type of dunks he has in his bag. Are we going to get the windmills? Are we going to get off the side of the rim? What are we going to get? Obviously, I'm calling this right now. Obi Toppin is going to be there for one of the dunks, setting it up for Jericho Sims. I'm calling that right now. Being that he's a Knick, being that he's a defending champion as well, you could guarantee you Obi Toppin will be there to help out his guy, Jericho Sims. Now, is he going to jump over Obi Toppin? I'm not sure. Is Obi Toppin going to hold Nate Robinson while Jericho Sims jumps over him? I'm not sure. But I just want to see the type of tricks and what he has in his bag when it comes to Jericho Sims in this dunk contest, bro.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is, like, we all know homeboy can jump. Like, we've seen that, but it's what comes with that. We've seen a lot of people who can get vert, but they can't execute the dunk. Like that's going to be the big thing is, like, we've seen people that can get up, but they can't actually finish something, or something is not creative. So creativity and, like, actually getting the, like, completed dunk is going to be the huge thing we look for. But here's the thing. The Knicks are always the underrated, like, player in anything we go into. Like, we are always given a hard time by, other teams, by, all the ESPNs and all those places. It's always New York Knicks is on the bottom. Like, even when Obi won, like, dunk wise, Obi's dunk was better. It doesn't matter that it wasn't the greatest slam dunk competition, but everyone wants to say, oh, the New York Knicks won, but it wasn't even a good competition. So if you look at all these predictions, like, I was looking at a prediction, they have Sims coming in third. And I want to see Sims shock the world. Like, I want Sims to come out and just be like, hey, we got Randall in the All-Star game. He's killing it. I'm killing it here. A miracle happened. Jesus turned water to wine, and Julius Randle won the 3-point competition. And, like, we're able to celebrate all 3 wins, in the All-Star game. So we'll see.
My man Bodega Wi-Fi is in the building. Bodega Wi-Fi, what it do, my guy? He said finally caught alive. My man Bodega, hope all is well. Hope your family is doing well, Bodega. Happy that you were able to catch us over here. My man Bodega Wi-Fi gets that moderator pass right away. But Bodega, hope your family is doing well, my guy. Glad to see you in the live. But yeah, we got other things to talk about real quick before we have the open panel come on. Because today is Friday. It's open panel Friday. So we'll put the link in the chat for people that want to come on to the open panel. But before we get to the open panel, we got 3 things to talk about real quick, right? Put this one right here. We are the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks, we are playoff bound at this moment, right? We got 24 games left in the season, or 23 games left in the season. I called it when the Knicks won 30 games that if we're able to go 13-13 down the stretch, we'll finish the season at 43 wins and 39 losses, right? Right now, since that game, we have gone 3-1 since that game. Since the Knicks have won 30 games, we have gone 3-1. from my prediction of finishing the season 13-13. If the Knicks can make some noise and move up to that 5th spot, and we can have that first round go against the 4th seed instead of one of the top seeds in the East, the Knicks we can surprise someone in the first round. We can definitely surprise someone in the first round. The team that we have right now has a different chemistry to it, have a different feel to it. Adding Josh Hart has done wonders for this team, not just on the court, but off the court as well. Derrick Rose, he has fallen and he has embraced his role as an extra assistant coach on the bench. He is someone that the young kids look towards when it comes to leadership, when it comes to mentoring. It's an article that literally just came out within the past couple of days, how Derrick Rose has accepted his role as being Tom Thibodeau's assistant coach on the bench. He's like what Taj Gibson was last year. He's like what in Miami they got Udonis Haslem, who's been playing longer than LeBron James. So you have those type of guys on certain teams, and Derrick Rose, we finally got one. And it's a guy that he's a veteran that was an MVP. He's a veteran that was a superstar. Obviously, injuries are injuries, but he's a guy who has embraced his role and hasn't been negative about it. It could have been very nasty for D Rose to be negative, wanted to be released, wanted to be traded away from this team. No, he has embraced the role that he has with this team. And I think ultimately it's a good look for us. Phil, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this is the thing that I'm excited about moving forward is you see a lot of teams dealing with all across the league. It comes out that there's locker room drama. That this player and this player, or LeBron is calling out this player. Like, there is just a lot of like messiness that's going on right now, and has on and off throughout the season. But you are starting to see the complete opposite with the New York Knicks. Like, you are seeing Julius Randle like giving Jalen Brunson a knuckle sandwich in the middle of the court with like I'm a fat kid in the candy store grin, and like they're both just cracking up. You're seeing Josh Hart pull out his phone and put Brunson on blast about like the
face
value photo. Yeah, you know, like, so you have these things going on. Like, yes, I know that there was some disgruntledness with RJ, but I think there's some personal life things that are going on, that was causing him to feel the way that he was. But you're seeing a lot of our team gel. Like, we are now seeing players not just work well with each other on the court, but having camaraderie off the court. And that is huge. Like, that is huge. Like, seeing these guys go to bat for each other, like seeing Josh Hart have this connection with Jalen Brunson, but it's not just the old familiarity. He's having that connection with Grimes. He's having that connection with Quick. Like, it's just starting to flow. So that's my excitement moving forward in the season, is that like we are now in the most crucial part of the season, and our team is like at that spot where we're actually fully clicking. So that's perfect timing moving forward.
It couldn't have happened at a better time, right? Just like a couple of seasons ago when we made the playoffs for the first time in like God knows how many years, and we were the 4th seed in the East. A big part of the jolt of energy we got in the second half of the season was because of Derrick Rose, right? Josh Hart has come in and he has done the same exact thing, if not better, right? When it comes to Josh Hart, not only is he being the defensive whiz that he is, he's making his teammates around him better defensively. The team defense in the last game that we played against the Atlanta Hawks, amazing. Even at the point when RJ Barrett, and this is one thing that we've criticized RJ Barrett about, is his defense. RJ Barrett out there with the second unit. Who put this clown there? Come on, Jiggaman, what are we doing? RJ Barrett with the second unit, right? With the second unit, with Josh Hart, his ability to play team defense. Because the team defense has gotten a lot better since Josh Hart has been a part of this team. I understand it's a small sample size, a handful of games, if that. But you cannot deny what you're seeing from Josh Hart, from the team overall defensively, right? And Tom Thibodeau preaches defense. If you go out there and play defense, not only individual defense, but team defense, good things are going to happen. And the record just is proof of its own. We are 24-1 when we hold opponents to less than 110 points per game. The record speaks for itself. You can't deny that. So having guys that they step it up defensively and having guys that want to hold their teammates accountable. I can't wait for Mitchell Robinson to come back to see what the finished product will look like with Mitchell Robinson out there and with Josh Hart coming off the bench, bro.
Yeah. And like Bodega said, like Hart has that killer instinct, and when you add something to the mix, like whatever it is that you add changes the recipe like completely, and so when Hart comes into something that was already starting to be cooked and it was a good thing, like it changes the recipe, it changes the complete outcome, but it also causes you to have to say, okay, this is the standard that is being set by this guy. I either stay here and everyone sees where I'm at because it's a drastic difference, or I come here to try and match him. Like I try to come up to the new standard of what it looks like to play with Hart and to play defense. And that's what you've seen from the team. Like, even though Grimes has been in a slump, he's still, all right, Josh Hart's here. I need to get there. His own words. Quick, same thing. Like, our team is wanting to play that. You saw Obi in this last game say, all right, there's a new standard. I need to meet it. So that's a good thing that we've risen to that occasion of the difference that we saw in Hart. So moving forward, that's what we need to continue to see. I want to see each player raise their standard so that the rest of them continue to raise it, because that's what we saw in the beginning with Jalen Brunson. Julius Randle met him there, like where it wasn't, oh, Jalen Brunson's team now. It's, no, Julius Randle's playing all-star basketball. Like, you can't, so we continue to see players rise, and that's what I like.
Just so you guys know, Trippy, he's watch when you put that clown out there. It's because Jiggaman loves bothering me, right? He knows that I have a phobia of clowns. Phobia not only meaning fear, but an adverse reaction. I cannot stand clowns, and I hate them. And he knows that I can. That's why I'm looking this way. I refuse to look at the screen while that thing is on the screen.
Wait,
stop it.
Which one was Trae Young? Put that back up. Which one's Trae Young? Oh, it's the one with more hair on the left. Okay, that's the only reason I realized it. It was the hair.
Yeah, I didn't know which one was which. But no,
shout out
I'm
to
not
my
sure.
boy Ariel, VSN.
Yo.
We've been talking about trying to get him to, have some time from work. So we appreciate you coming through, Ariel.
Yes, Ariel, don't worry. We'll put the link out for the open panel so you could jump on the open panel, my guy. And Blood of the Panther, I'm right there too with you, buddy. I'm right there too with you, my guy. I can't stand those things. And Sunil, just so you know, it traces back to when I was a child, right? I grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. My grandmother and grandfather, they had an old limestone. So you guys know those old buildings, they had the fuses that would blow out and it'd be blackout for the entire house. What happened was when I was a kid, we had a blackout, right, in the house. So what happens is you run around the house when you're a kid when it's a blackout. My cousins popped up with the It Clown face mask right when the lights turned back on, and I fainted. I literally fainted and passed out. Ever since that day, I've been petrified, and I just hate clowns. I hate seeing them. I hate the smile on the face. I hate the big red nose. I hate all of it. But anywho, when it comes to Trae Young, did you notice, Phil, that his teammates in that second half, they refused to pass him the ball? Did you notice that? Being down by double digits, and Clyde Frazier called this out also during the broadcast, being down by double digits, why are you taking three-point shots from the logo? Why are you coming down with the ball and just taking three-point shots right from the logo? And you saw it, his teammates frustrated with Trae Young. The situation in Atlanta, it's going to get nasty this offseason. You got the Dejounte Murray there. You already heard the trade rumors of Trae Young. Trae Young is going to get traded this offseason. It's going to end up bad in Atlanta, and you saw it in the last game when his teammates refused to pass him the ball, and he's just standing at the three-point line waving his hand.
Yeah, it's a different team. Like, it is not Trae Young's team anymore, and you can see that he is frustrated. Like, he was excited to have Dejounte Murray come because he thought that Dejounte Murray was going to be his two, but instead it's turned, and now Dejounte is the guy, and he's the two. And so you see even the arrogance and pride that Trae Young was playing with, where he would hit a three and he would chill himself like, ooh, burr. Like, that stuff doesn't happen anymore because he is not the same person, because he knows that this is not his squad anymore, and he's got to take a back seat. So, yeah, he's a good player. He has shown that what we saw in the bubble and what we were thinking was going to happen with his career kind of isn't. And so it is what it is.
My man Sunil said Trae Young is the only person with a balding afro. Which is true. Nick Nation 112 is in the building. What it do? Salute, my guy. Hope all is well, family. So I'm putting the link for the open panel in the chat right now. If anybody want to jump on the open panel, you're more than welcome to. But just remember the YouTube terms of services. We got TOS that we have to respect. So if you guys can watch the language, make sure you respect everyone that's in the panel, that's in the chat as well. If you're giving a take, please allow someone to finish their take before you jump in. Everybody will get that opportunity to give their take. But before we do that, I got a commercial to play for you, right? Because over here, we got commercials that we have to pay. April 1st, NYY News TV, KOD Media, we're teaming up. If you're a Yankee fan, get your tickets. We are going to be in the Audi Suites April 1st, and then April 2nd, game season live watch along will be happening live at the Gramercy Ale House with myself and Pete Seminetti. Here, watch this commercial and jump on the open panel. We'll be right back, people.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been petty. Gotta keep on sugar, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy, got a whole agenda. Ain't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it an FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to.
What it do, Nick Nation? What it do? KOD Universe, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee.
I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm John Starks.
Hey, you Phil, honestly, bro.
Yeah.
When I'm down there in Tampa, right, in March, we may have to run into the studio, bro. We may have to run to the studio, you and I, just so, right? But before we continue, right, we got the open panel. And I got to tap in with my man, Nice. Nice is the only person I know that it could be 11 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, but it looks like it's 5 o'clock in the morning where he lives because the sun don't shine through those glades that he got behind him. Delo Mio, what it do, baby?
What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
bro.
sir.
All right, sweet.
Yo,
hey.
bro, you gotta give me the name of the blinds that you have, bro, because the curtains that you have, no suns come through. Ain't no light, ain't no glare. I need those deep curtains that you got, bro. Let me know where on Dykeman that your aunt got them from before she sent them to you. So let me know, bro.
I'll definitely do. I will definitely do. Hey,
Yeah, because I didn't even know you were there until you smiled, bro. I didn't know you were there. We called you up, and until you started smiling, I was like, oh, there's Nice. Oh,
It's the beard, that's why. It's the beard. But Nice, I'm glad to have you on the panel, my guy. Appreciate you. Before we continue, I just want to bring in one more person. Trippy OG to the panel. The Trip, what it do, Trippy?
My guys, what it is, what it do.
What it do? Good morning, my guy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice, my bro. You came on the panel first. Started off, my guy. What's good?
Man, salute to everybody in the panel as usual. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hey, we gotta call it for what it is, man. Forget about this what is it, Randall and Brunson slandering. Oh, they not superstar, bro. They superstar. They not star. They superstars.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that we don't see it because we are so focused on other team. Oh, but there's Tatum and Boston. There's this and this and that. Man, we got our own thing in New York, and it's so beautiful that we don't even want to see it.
Facts, nice.
Like even ESPN, they recognized us and they gave us the best duo. The best duo as of right now is Jalen Brunson and Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not take that away from them, man. Like at the same time, let's prop them up. Like I know that a lot of people they want to keep on criticizing about what Randall did 2 seasons ago, but 2 seasons ago, Randall did not have Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
Randall did not have Brunson. And to be thinking that Randall is going to convert back to his old self once he goes to the playoff, believe me, he has Brunson. He's going to continue on where he left off with Dallas. That's what I keep on saying. Like he's going to let Randall know what to do differently, how to adjust, how to get out of his slump real quick. But believe it or not, Randall and Brunson, they doing beautiful things, and I feel like we not even going for the 5th or 6th seed. We going for the 4th. We going for the 4th.
I think I was reading that article this morning while I was doing my pre-show work, just getting my notes to the side. And I think ESPN, they put, I don't want to say the number 1, I think they put top 3. But when it comes to duos, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, when they are on the court together at the same time, they are top 3 when it comes to plus minus on the good side of it, not the bad side of it, on the good side of things. So you can't deny the numbers is the numbers. I'm going to throw it over to Trippy real quick because I got this Kevin Love situation I want to be able to talk about. Trip, go ahead, give your take real quick. Welcome to the panel before we get into the topic.
You know the vibes, man. Salute to everybody to the panel. Salute to everybody in the chat. What a time to be a Knicks fan, yo. We are all over the All-Star weekend. We are 6 in the East, know what I mean? And
we are what? Where we
top
say it again,
6,
bro?
baby, on 6 in them. But don't worry though, we about to be on 4 in them again. You feel me? On 4 in them, know what I mean? But the best thing about all of this is not a bubble season. This is a regular 82-game season. This is a season where everybody counted us out. This is a season where they told us everybody was overpaid. And just like the words of RJ Barrett, we're going to shock the world, man. We're going to shock the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
100%.
Before we go into the topic, I'm gonna do this because I don't think Trippy will. But I saw something on Twitter today about people jacking some of Trippy's content.
Bro,
people work hard at this stuff, So all I want to say to people out there is support these guys. Don't jack their content. Like give credit where it's due. Like we don't get paid for this kind of stuff. Like this is stuff that we're just pouring our hearts out there. So if you see content creators and you like what they're doing, pay tribute, pay homage, like at least 100%. Give credit where you got your stuff, at least give credit where you got your ideas, because these people are pouring in their blood, sweat, and tears. So I just wanted to drop that out there real quick before we go into the topic.
No, I appreciate you.
And it's true, Trippy. One thing is that Trippy, you and I, we known each other for a couple of years, right? We go back to we first meeting each other on Instagram and stuff like that 2 shows ago when I had 2 shows ago, right?
Facts.
And you've been putting the work in. Same thing. Nice. He's been consistent when it comes to being a panelist and always giving his input when it comes to content creation. So, like Phil said, if you guys are out there, if you see someone and you want to pay homage or you like what they're doing, all you got to do is credit them. Right. If you see a take that's out there, you heard a take from someone else, all you got to do is like, yo, last time Nice was on Man, he brought up this topic and I thought it was that's all you got to do. Last time Trippy was on his show, he brought up this time. That's literally all you got to do. And it's literally just the bare minimum. But yeah, Phil, appreciate you for bringing that up because that's something that I want to talk about because I saw it on Twitter. Also, you got to be able to give people their credit when things happen. Don't just try to bite something and then act like Patrick Swayze and go ghost when someone calls you out on it, right? But before let's get into the next topic right now. I'm gonna throw it over to Nice until Phil comes back. But Nice, with the waiver wires and players going to be released from their teams, Kevin Love, we do have a roster spot open. Would you like to see Kevin Love on the team being just a veteran presence on the team? If there's an injury, maybe we can go to him. Oh, that's a hard no for Nice. Okay, I see you. It's because you don't like Cleveland. I get it, Nice. I get it, bro.
Nah. I like Cleveland. They actually took the guy that I wanted for this team. I wanted that cat, bro. But the thing is that I want to there's a beautiful thing that Coach Thibodeau said, man. And it seems like, hey, if they're gonna kick me out or I'm going out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. I'm gonna do everything my way. So let's facilitate and give Coach Hib all the players that makes him better. He needs defensive players. I don't mind having shooters, but at the same time, it doesn't mean nothing if you're trying to pair him up with a coach that his mindset is all defense. Like it's the same thing with Evan Fournier. We have a shooter, but why is he not playing? Because he can defend properly. But let me say this: I don't know was on the work, but I feel like Evan Fournier defense. I'm telling you, they working on it because they only gave us a glimpse last time that we saw Evan Fournier, and his defense was on par. I loved everything
His
I
team
saw.
defense was a lot better than what it was in last year when we got him.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. And the impact that Josh Hart is having when it comes to not only the individual defensive side of things, but as a team defense a whole. Yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with that 100%. Trippy, what's your thoughts on the thoughts and the possibility of Kevin Love coming to the Knicks as just a veteran that's just going to sit on the bench? What's your take on that, Brody?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know who I'm advocating for. It better not be no other vet coming on this team besides Mr. Number 7. I don't want a Kevin Love. I'm not hearing nothing y'all talking about. If
Facts.
Melo, don't add nobody to this roster. Don't add nothing. Nothing, nada, zilch. Kevin Love, you go to Japan. It's a dub.
Throw the sevens in the chat if you agree with my man Trippy. I threw a few of them in there because he hit it right on the head. The only vet that I want back with this team, or the only vet that I'm looking for the Knicks to bring in, is a Carmelo Anthony. Right? Why not? Why not let Carmelo Anthony have his retirement tour with the New York Knicks? You're going to sell tickets, one. You're going to sell more jerseys when it comes to Carmelo Anthony, and you're going to have more viewing because if people are tuning in when it comes to TNT, ESPN, NBC, they're going to be tuning in to see the Carmelo Anthony retirement tour, right? So let's just make it happen. If not this season, please make it be next year. Go ahead, Phil.
So because I've been screaming at the top of my lungs to bring Melo back for as long as I can remember. But I don't think it's going to happen, and that is the reason why. Because ticket sales will increase for people that want to see Melo. There will be demands for wanting to see Melo, and I do not see Tibbs messing up what he's currently doing to give Melo minutes. And I think that's where the issue is, because if they bring him back, they are not doing it for a basketball or a veteran standpoint. They're doing it for a business standpoint because they know that they're going to sell tickets. They know that they're going to make money. And Carmelo's going to come. He's going to want to get some minutes off the bench. The fans are going to want him to get minutes off the bench. And that kind of throws a wrench in the works of Thibodeau's 9-man rotation. So as much as I would like to see it, that's personally why I don't see it happening, especially this year, because he is so stuck on his 9-man rotation. And honestly, if he's going to expand his rotation at all in the playoffs, I don't want guys who have busted their butts to get us to this position, such as Miles McBride, to become obsolete completely. Oh, we got a ticket sale in Carmelo, so now Miles McBride, everything that you did that we said you earned, you're no longer important, So that's the hard thing for me is my wants and what I see actually happening. And I don't disagree that Tibbs would love Melo, but it would mess up his rotation. And we know that Tibbs is, he's got plans, and he wants to execute those plans. So I don't know how Melo would really fit into that.
So Phil, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Just to push back on that a little bit. You
Yeah,
say you don't want Deuce to feel like, he got pushed back. Deuce should already feel like that now. He's not in the rotation now. So I don't really see what's the problem. We barely play Obi Toppin. So if you claim you want Randall to get this rest, I'd rather have Carmelo there, knowing that Tom will damn well make sure he plays him more than 15 minutes. So at this point, I'm all for Melo coming here. When it comes to the backup power forward position, we lack. We truly lack. And bringing in Melo, especially with, the case of, you being Mr. iHeart fan club, I would gladly just send him back to the 5 and I'll let Sim sit on the bench. You did enough this year. You helped us become 6 in the East. You did your dunk contest. Sims, you don't need no more nothing after this year. You're good. You're great. You're fine. You're perfect. Bring us Melo. It's time to go for playoffs. It's not time to be playing around no more. It's time to get serious. Bring me Melo now.
No, I hear you. I hear you. My whole thing is that, like, I still do want to see Obi, and what I'm hoping is that come playoff time, Tibbs realizes, okay, these guys need more minutes. Randall can't play 7 games at, back-to-backs in 40-plus minute games. That he realizes that. My whole thing would be like, okay, if that is the time that I'm hoping that Tibbs realizes that he needs to utilize the guys that we have, like Obi, I feel like if Melo comes, then that becomes even less of a possibility of Obi expanding and doing more, for our team. Because I don't see, if that continues, Obi coming back to New York. And if that's the case, I don't want to also rob him of a future contract, So it's a win-lose for me, because
I want to throw it over the nice.
I also love Obi.
I want to throw it over the nice. But before I throw it over the nice, yes or no, would a Melo move, would that be something you would entertain in the off season? Just a yes or no real quick before I throw it over the nice.
Me?
Yeah, Phil.
Nice. Yeah. Oh,
no, you Phil. Yeah, it's yes or no real quick, and I'll throw it over to nice to get his take.
Of course.
Okay,
of course.
Copy. Nice, go ahead, baby.
So based on your question, I'll entertain it right now. And this is coming from somebody that is not even a Melo fan. I used to dislike Melo, but everything that happened.
You love Melo.
No, I'm dead serious. But after, you good. But after seeing how his demeanor changed with everything that has happened through his transition, going to the Rocket, then ending up Thunder or Rocket, whatever it was, and then ended up with the Lakers. It's one of those that he hit a wall. He hit a wall that is like, wake up. In other words, do what is necessary, do what is expected. Let's say do what the coach is expecting from you. And I feel like Melo's going to take a lot of baggage from Julius Randle whenever he's feeling like one of those scenarios that he's pinned to the corner and he can't do that much. When we need that scoring ability, you can never deny Melo is that guy. So if that's the case, man, we need a Melo, because I feel we are not going to the second seed. I feel like with what we have, and we talking about veteran
second round or second seed.
No, it's going to be more. It's going like the way this team is constructed. Oh man, I wish.
Okay. No, because you said second seed. I wasn't sure if you thought like second seed in the East or second round.
No.
My fault.
Like in playoff. Copy, yeah, they gonna go. They might even end up in the semifinals or in the finals.
Bro, nice. You heard me on the last show when I said I'm sipping a Kool-Aid. We going to the Eastern Conference Finals, baby. I'm sipping on the whole Jim Jones Kool-Aid right now. Go ahead, nice.
Because you have a lot of good teams, and I'm not taking nothing away from the Bucks or Celtics, but Bucks and Celtics, they haven't seen the Knicks constructed the way we have it constructed now. Like right now, top to bottom, we are literally not 2 men away, not 1 man away. We pretty much have everything. But with that extra firepower, when we need scoring, hey, Melo is not that far.
Yeah. And one thing that I talked about with Phil on the last show, when you look at the 5 teams that are ahead of us, nice. Let's look at them right now. Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not sure if the Brooklyn Nets are going to stay there, but let's just have them in that conversation for now, right? Nice. The only team that out of the teams that I just named, right, that I can say that will beat us, or I'm confident to say that they can beat us in a 7-game series, is Boston. Besides that, no, it's Boston. Besides that, Milwaukee. Are we scared of Milwaukee? The past 3 years since Tom Thibodeau has been a part of this, has been the head coach of this team, Milwaukee is the only big-time team that we've been able to handle. Giannis is the only superstar over these past 3 seasons that Tom Thibodeau has been able to put a wall in front of, and we've done damage against Milwaukee, right? Philadelphia, 7-game series. You feel confident against them? I feel confident against Philadelphia in the 7-game series.
I feel more confidence with Celtics and Philly, not Bucks, because the thing is that you could put hard on Tatum, you could put hard on Brown, and you still have another person to worry about. So you could put Grimes on the other person. But a guy like but
That's
a
right,
guy like
right to the head.
but
What about
like
Cleveland?
Giannis,
What about Cleveland? My fault, nice for cutting you off. But a 7-game series against Cleveland. You confident against the seven game series against them?
I'm confident. I'm very confident.
But so out of those 5 teams, the Nets, whatever. But out of those 4 teams that we named, there's only one team that you're scared of and one team that I'm scared of. I'm scared of Boston. You're scared of the Bucks. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, for me, I'm with nice. You know, when it comes, people talk about 76ers and they're like, oh, it's Embiid and Harden. You can't, deter beating. I'm not deterring that they're all-stars. I'm not deterring that they're stars. What I'm deterring is that neither one of them have done anything that has super impressed me in the playoffs. They're both batting 500. Like Jalen Brunson has done more in the playoffs than both those guys. And Jalen Brunson, for a lot of that time, was doing it in a Luka Doncic injury, and when it comes to Embiid and Harden especially, Harden's had winning pieces around him for his whole career, and yet he's still only at 500. So I'm not worried about them. When it comes to the Cavs, I feel like they're going to all try to do too much. Donovan has too much to prove that he was the missing piece for New York. And I think he's going to do what he did the last game. He's going to want to show out so bad that he's going to crumble. Like, he's just going to. So as much as I love
and it's going against Jalen Brunson. And it's going against Jalen Brunson, who beat him in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and so I'm not worried there. When it comes to the Celtics, I think they are a great team, but we fend well with them because they don't have a lot of bigs. They don't have a lot of length that we really have to worry about. So where people say that's our weakness and whatever, I don't think they have that much either. And I feel like when it comes to actual defensiveness in the paint, if Mitch is healthy, he's a better defender than anyone that they have in the middle. So I'm not scared there. The Bucks to me are the only real threat. One, because Giannis is one of those guys that he has a memory you wouldn't forget, that he'd be like, oh, okay, I know that on these podcasts you talk about how Tibbs has been able to stop me. I'm going to show that that's not the case. He's that kind of petty player that he's going to do everything he has to do to kind of prove that he is who he is. Like, he's the same guy that was like, don't call me a champion or the best until I have or MVP until I have a championship. Then he was able to get it. He's that kind of player. And we contended with them recently, but they also didn't have Middleton. And typically I don't say they're missing a player, but he is a crucial part to their team. Middleton is crucial for them. And so where we tend to struggle is perimeter defense. That guy does not need much time to get a 3 off and it be perfect. Like, he is an anomaly when it comes to 3-point shooters. His fingers can barely touch it. Like, you throw it, it's like a volleyball pass, and he makes the 3-pointer. Like, it's seriously nuts. So that's why, for me, they are the team, and they have depth. Drew Holiday, you can never take a minute off. Thankfully we got Hart, who doesn't stop. Because before Hart, everyone else gets exhausted guarding Drew Holiday. But so they would be the only team that I would be worried about. I don't want to see them in the first round of the playoffs is what I'm saying. Give me them later on after they've been beat up by another team a little bit, and then let's go get them.
I got some stats for that ass, right? So I got some stats. One thing we love to bring up the stats. So since the All-Star reserves have been announced, Jalen Brunson is averaging. Well, hold on. Let me take a step back. Over these past 22 games, Jalen Brunson has been averaging over 30 points per game, right?
Crazy.
Since the All-Star reserves have been announced, Jalen Brunson has been averaging 32.5 points per game, 6.3 assists per game, 3.2 3-pointers made per game. His field goal percentage is over 60% at 60.9%, and he's shooting 56% from 3. Since the All-Star reserves has been announced, Jalen Brunson has been shooting 56% from beyond the arc. Jalen Brunson has shown time and time again, do not count this man out. And for the Carmelo Anthony argument, I just wanted to throw something else on top of that. Arguably, right, when you look at Carmelo Anthony, his time last season with the LA Lakers, for stretches of the season last year when LeBron James was out, Carmelo Anthony was the best player on that team.
Mhm.
I don't care what anybody said. You could look at the numbers. It was a 7-game stretch with nice comeback, nice. Maybe it just said you were disconnected, but there was a 7-game stretch, 14-game stretch where Carmelo Anthony was averaging well over 25 points per game. Right when LeBron James was out last year, Carmelo Anthony was the number one focal point in that offense because Anthony Davis, for some reason last year, didn't know his ass from his elbow. Right. So let's be honest. When it comes to Carmelo Anthony, if it's not going to happen this season, let it happen next season so we can have a retirement tour and Carmelo Anthony can finally get what he deserves. And that's a well thought out and a well planned retirement tour, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I think it would be great. You know, there's enough people that like. Obviously, Knick fandom is always divided. It's going to happen when you have that many fans, you know, all across all across the world. But there's enough Knick fandom that would want to see Carmelo Anthony retire as a Knick, you know, and I am one of those, you know, like I have a Carmelo poster behind me over there because I love Carmelo, you know. So
do you remember back in the days they used to have like clothing, like jeans that had like the jerseys on them and the team logos on? Yeah, I had the Carmelo Anthony because my middle name's Anthony, right? So my family knows me as Anthony, not Hector, right? So I had the Carmelo Anthony jersey and I had the shorts that had the jersey in the shorts. Phil, when I told you I wore that practically every day in the summertime, I wore that every day in the summertime until my sisters threw it out. Like I literally wore that every day because Carmelo Anthony at that time in 2004 was my favorite player because he had the name Anthony on the jersey, right? I couldn't get Beauchamp on the jersey because I had to wait till 2022 for Marjon Beauchamp to get drafted by the Bucks. I couldn't get that. But when I was younger, I was able to get Anthony on the jersey, bro. And Carmelo Anthony is one of my all-time favorite Knicks of all time. Second is Stephon Marbury. That's just who I grew up with in my childhood. I understand the Marbury era with the Knicks wasn't the best, had so much drama and stuff like that. But those are my top 2 favorite Knicks growing up as a kid. Right? Look at that. Who you got? Oh, look at that. There we go. I remember going to games at Lincoln High School with my friends just so we could watch Sebastian Telfair play because he was Stephon Marbury's cousin growing up.
Yeah, no, I love Stephon. You know, my favorite of all time, like, you know, I'm a little bit older than you, I think. So for me, it was Starks and Ewing, you know, like loved watching them. That's what I grew up on. With my brother. But after that,
definitely agree with what Bodega put. 100% Bodega.
You should have given Crawford. Oh yeah, I agree.
100%.
But after that, same thing for me. It was Melo and Marbury, you know, and Houston. You know, I loved Houston as a shooter, but watching Stephon Marbury and the way he could dribble, the way he could like school people, break ankles, like he seriously had that and one basketball mentality in the NBA, you know, which is what I love. You know, he had and one mixtapes that were popular everywhere. And he had that actually in person. So I love that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But we got one more to talk about before we dip out. And I think this is a good one because this is something that we all want. Mitchell Robinson. When will we see Mitchell Robinson? Will we see him after the All-Star break? I'm putting the timetable because it's been 14 games that we haven't had Mitchell Robinson, or 15 games, and I think the Knicks are 8-6 in that stretch. 8 + 6 is 14. Yeah, so 14 games without Mitchell Robinson. I would say, if not the end of this month, the first week in March. What about you, bro?
I think that's a good prediction. My bigger question is when he gets back to what we started seeing him as, you know, like what kind of conditioning outside of like the injury has he had, you know, because in the beginning of the season, the one thing we were talking about when he first came back was like that it took time for him to get his legs under him, you know, and actually be able to start like being productive and moving again. So like, do we see that when he comes back? Do we see that we still have to have a cushion of this many games before he's actually back to not looking like his vertigo's all over the place? So I'm hoping that like he comes back and we don't have weekend at Bernie's Mitch, you know, we just have solid Mitch, you know? So we'll see what happens when he gets back.
Yeah, you know, hopefully he comes back, you know, healthy. I know it may take him some time, Like Bodega Wi-Fi said, we got 22 games left in the season. For the month of February, the Knicks played 8 games. Hold on, let me see how many games are left in the month of March right now. I mean, the month of February right now. When it comes to the Knicks, we got 3 games left in February. We come back next week, Friday the 24th. We come back the 25th against the Pelicans, then the 27th against the Celtics. So we got 3 games left for this month, which would be 19 games for the entirety of the season. March, we have 15 games. I would say around the time the Knicks, I would say the first game back for Mitchell Robinson will be against the Hornets, March 7th. That's what I would say. Okay. The first time we'll be back. Yeah. Oh, we got Jay Boogie.
We gotta bring Jay Boogie.
Boogie, what it do, Jay Boogie? Salute, Unc.
Yo, salute. 3 capital S's. Blessings, health, happiness to everybody on this Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy All-Star Weekend. Happy all our Knicks, you know what I'm saying, competitive players this weekend. We got things that going orange and blue all over the building. They try to put a cap on it and not let Brunson in there, you know what I'm saying? But that side, that orange and blue is well represented. We know we got the biggest situation going on in the All-Star game. We know we the biggest topic. We know we the biggest squad, the biggest team, biggest fan base, biggest podcasters. We BIG all over where. May he rest in heaven while he looking down upon all of them. That's the only Brooklyn thing that we represent, you know what I'm saying? Not the New Jersey Nets, man. But shout out to the chat, man, the most respectful lawyers, people that hit that like button, thumbs up, man, before the weekend get out, man. Big scenario going on this weekend. I love it, man. Just, you know, to answer y'all question, I talked to Mitch firsthand, hand to hand in Atlanta. Mitch said he'd be back, you know what I'm saying, ready for DC. So, you know what I'm saying, I just want y'all to know that. You know, that's nice. The word that I got from him. He said, I'm ready for DC. So I think that's the first game coming back at the All-Star break, you know what I mean? So we get ready to take off and do what we got to do. We're landing at the Clearport, man, right now, man. At the Clearport, man. Yeah.
100%, J Boog, 100%. You was at the game against the Hawks. Honestly, I know L's out there in Atlanta. I'm not sure if you linked up with L, but honestly, while I was watching that game, I was like, let me see if I see Boogie. Let me see if I see L. Let me see if I see my man. Let me see if I see a few of my guys in there, some of my Knick fandoms and stuff like that. Wasn't able to see you, but thank you for sharing that information about Mitchell Robinson. When it comes down to this stretch, we haven't had the conversation with you, Boog, since the Knicks traded for Josh Hart. What do you think the impact? How do you feel about the impact Josh Hart has had on this team? Do you think it's something that's just lightning in a bottle, or this is something that's going to last the entirety for the rest of the season? What's your thoughts on it?
Man, it's just like the movie, The Heartbeats. You know what I'm saying? They was on stage. They was throwing all types of things at them on stage while they was trying to do their song. And then Quiet Boy came out from behind the curtain and started singing. Ah! Yeah, that's what happened. Quiet Boy just came out from behind the curtain. A lot of things was going. I love this scenario with us getting Josh. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy he said himself, a dog. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm on every play on both sides of the court. I'm going to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Team first. Those are the type players you like to have within your organization. Dudes that want to come straight in and get right after, you know what I'm saying? And what better number can he have on than the number 3, you know what I'm saying? The bigger version of John Starks, you know what I'm saying? In his prime all over again. So, yeah, I love what Josh Hart's bringing to the table. It's a good move for the office. It's a good move for the squad. It's good chemistry. He's back with his main man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody saying Villanova's starting to take over. Hold up, you still can't discollude, you know what I'm saying? Villanova's Villanova. But Villanova's Wildcats. And Wildcats is on their team all over. We got the Kentucky Wildcats. We got the Villanova Wildcats. I call them Kent Novas right now. What we got going on between Kentucky and Villanova. It's Kent Nova, you know what I'm saying? That's what I like about. But I love what Josh Hart is bringing to the table, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a good pickup for us, man. A lot of people like, the first pick and all that, man. That pick, you know, late in the first round wasn't gonna be all that. When you can get somebody that can help you win games right now, help you move up in that, you know. what I'm saying, in the Eastern Conference. Remember, we beat Miami without Jalen Brunson, without Mitch, and without Josh Hart now, you know what I'm saying? So Cleveland didn't do nothing. Miami ain't do nothing. Now we on the move. Brooklyn don't fell off, you know what I'm saying? You know, and right now it's about the New York Knicks. It's always been about us inside, you know what I'm saying, the city. But right now we got a lot of momentum. I really hate to see us go on this break right now because we rolling. We like tissue. You know what tissue? It rolls out. And that's what we doing. We rolling out right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I love that the acquaintance of Josh, man. Being on this team, man. It says a lot, man. They picking winnable caliber type hard working players. So, you know, and that's 2 back to back. Yo, man, I don't want Jalen Brunson. He too small. He can't play no defense. He's too small. He get a shot off of anybody that's in front of him. He don't play no D. He got the most charges in the league. He got his chest out. You know what I'm saying? Any more scenarios y'all want to say? Only thing that's comparable to us getting Jalen Brunson, you know what I'm saying? People's like, I don't want Malcolm Brogdon. He's too injury prone. Right now, Malcolm Brogdon is he's a candidate for, you know what I'm saying, 6th man of the year. Oh, we need Devontae Murray. He's long, he's gifted, he's athletic. Man, what happened to him the other day? He got sold up. He was in that sewing machine the other night. Didn't they see him? They ain't got an all-star player going to the all-star game, but they got an all-star backcourt, right? So I'm asking some of the guys, y'all, going to this day right here, right now, you still take Murray over Brunson? Right now?
It's quiet. It's quiet, Bug, because muted because you cannot deny the numbers. The numbers prove it himself, right? Ever since, and I brought it up earlier before you came in, but ever since the All-Star reserves were announced and Jalen Brunson didn't realize he was not on that list, this man is averaging 32 to 33 points per game. He's shooting 60% from the field. He's shooting 56% from the 3-point line. People criticize him, saying that he doesn't pass the ball. He's averaging 6.5 to 7 assists in this stretch. Jalen Brunson is that guy. He is a franchise tone setter. He has set the tone for this franchise. Him and Julius Randle has become the new Batman and Robin in Gotham City. My man Josh Hart, that's Nightwing over there. He's the other Batman that nobody forgets about. And then you got RJ Barrett, who's the Red Hood. You feel me? So you got the whole entire Bat family a part of this Knicks team. My fault, Phil got thrown out for a second. Here he is. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead before we close it out. Phil, you good? I think his audio may be messed up.
Yeah, sorry, my audio disappeared for a second there.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, like I was saying, Phil, any last words before we dip out? Because it's 12:20, about to get to 12:30. What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, no, man. We got a chill All-Star weekend coming up. Support our squad, support our boys, and we just look forward to what's going to, our next game. I want to continue to see the things. One thing I did about Thibodeau was in his recent interview, and I feel blasphemous even saying the one thing I enjoyed about Thibodeau. But the one thing I enjoyed about Thibodeau's last interview was that he was actually saying, and he said it with the most stern, face that it's just smile a little bit. Like he said, he wanted our guys to enjoy the All-Star weekend. He wanted our guys to go out there, have fun, enjoy themselves, represent, but then come back ready. And so that's good, because at the end of the day, the All-Star game is simply for that. It's for fun, but I want our guys to be able to go enjoy it, because I do think that the enjoyment revitalizes them, brings them back to why they love playing the game in the first place, that it's still fun. It's still an activity. It's still a game, regardless of whether it's a career or not. So I want them to go. I want them to enjoy it. I want them to thrive. But most of all, I want them to just have fun with one another while they're out there. So I'm looking forward to them coming back, revitalized, get some rest, much needed rest that they need from those Tibbs minutes. And then let's see what the second half of the season is, and once again, let people have their takes, whether some people think we're going to flop or not, whether some people think we're going to be the number 1 seed. It doesn't really matter. We can all be wrong. Only time will tell, but still be a Knicks fan, still support, and enjoy the fact that this is a game and we get to be spectators of one of the greatest games in the world.
Facts. Boog, you got any new music dropping soon? Any videos dropping soon you want to let the people know about?
Yo, breaking news already done wrapped it up. Y'all know I have one coming. I have one in the cut like band-aids right now, but it's even further along right now. I got a joint is already done. It's called Point Guards featuring Jalen Brunson. Already did a thing. It might be my best song out of all the songs that I did. And the organization has that record. They took it. I told Rick 2 games ago in Atlanta,
Fire.
the first Atlanta game, I was coming with a song on his son, and he gave me the pat to his heart and smile. But I think he really thought I was joking. He didn't know really who I was. So when at the game Atlanta, the song got to them and everything, and I got word from a real. I got word from the personnel that puts together the entertainment for the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? They want that record. So I sent that record to
Fire.
him, and told him, it's rough draft right now, but it'll be master mix. They'll have it by Sunday. And so the song is already done. It's crazy, man. And this is our work for everybody, you know what I'm saying? For all the podcasts, you know what I'm saying? This is our work, you know what I'm saying? We all a big team, and any type of music Jay Boogie does, it's a team work, being job done with all the people in the chats and all the podcasts and everything, man. But like you were saying, let's enjoy this weekend. I don't want to hear about, I want to know when Julius going to get picked. No, he got picked for the All-Star game, and we know Jalen got jerked for the All-Star game. But that's all cool. He's an all-star to our organization, all-star to the squad, all-star to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? What's even bigger, if he continue on playing like this and we move up to somewhere like 5 or 4, somewhere like that, he continue on putting these numbers, start mentioning him as, you know what I'm saying, MVP. MVP is being done in the regular season, not the playoff. This guy might be the top 3 player that's going on. And I'm calling the commissioner if he don't get February Black History Player of the Month.
Yo, Jay Boogie, you the one for that one. But Bodega Wi-Fi just want to know, Jay Boogie, when we getting that feature from Iggy Azalea, she be at the Knick games. She a Knick fan, bro. We need to have the Jay Boogie, Iggy Azalea Knick special coming 2024, 2023. Jay Boogie, let us know.
I'm not big enough for them. So, right now I'm not big enough for them, but I'm big enough for our fan base, the chats and the podcasts. But after this one right here, after the Knicks got this song, they're going to get the coming, but that's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even reach out to Ralph. You know what I'm saying? I told him, it's nothing for me to do a verse for you on that Friday thing. It's nothing, but, things happen for certain reasons, but where I'm at right now, I'm happy, you know what I'm saying, doing what I do with my people, you know what I'm saying. I love my people, and I know my people love me, but if something like that happens, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to crush it.
Yeah,
Yes,
Jay
sir.
Boogie, you are a force of positivity. You are a force of just good energy, Jay Boogie. And if anybody needs the universe to give them something in return, it's you. Out of everyone that's out there, Jay Boogie, the work that you put in, the uplifting that you do as well. You hold a big place in my heart, Jay Boogie, when it comes to looking at you, not only as a friend, but also as an uncle and a father figure and an elder just in general as well, because you are one of my elders. Jay Boogie, you deserve all the flowers in the world. Whenever you have that song, whenever we're able to play it, you already know, send it to me and we'll play it over here on the Morning Brew. Jay Boogie, I'm not sure what you're doing April 1st or April 2nd, but if you can make your way to New York City, because we're going to be at the Yankee game, NYY News TV Nights of Dejan, we'll love to have you there for April 2nd. We're doing something at Gramercy Ale House. It's a bar in the city, 23rd Street. I'll get you the information, but April 2nd is the Sunday. The game starts at 1 p.m. We'll love to have you there, Jay Boogie, if you're able to make it up to the city, Uncle.
Man, I might be on target for that, man. I'm supposed to have something like real big going on with Allen Houston for the 2nd. So, if everything,
if you can't, just know that the invitation's out there, and I would love to see you, Jay Boogie, out there. But besides that, appreciate everyone who was in the chat. Blood of the Panther, full time in effect. My man Bodega Wi-Fi, 100%. Delo Mio Nice was on the panel. Infamous New King. My man Sunil was in the chat. Shy Legacy was in the chat. Eric Wallace was in the chat. My man Bones. Ariel from the VSN Network. My man Trippy was on the panel as well. Anyone else you want to shout out, Phil, before we dip out?
Yeah, Travel Vibes was in the chat. We had Smooth in the chat from Players Lounge. I know we had a few others, and if I forget y'all, I'm sorry. I love you. Jiggaman was in the chat.
Ron and John
Nation,
from Still Nick Fans was in the chat.
Yep.
Knicks
Shaun
Nation was in the chat. Pastor Claudio, Obi Live Hive was in the chat as well. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Peace and love, like always. Salute, 3 capital S's in the words of Jay Boogie. Peace and prosperity. This has been another great episode of Knicks Morning Brew. And like always, family, peace out. Deuces.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then I go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn petty. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got $1 flipped up, I'm trying.